connected it together, and you can see here, and it puts off all sorts of voltage. No amps, just all sorts of voltage jumps around. I don't trust any of my meters anymore. I think they're all nano coated. But just kind of give you an idea of what we're working with here. And I think I'm going to go ahead, and the one thing that I do know is that it's a lot easier to wrap these as a capacitor when they're not on here. And that's kind of determining whether or not I want to take them off. Just for simple. I'm going to take it off of here just for simplicity's. So you can pre-make the rings, and you can pre-make the Infinity 9s. All right, and once you do this, now I know that these are already dipped in my charcoal solution, but I'm going to go ahead and dip them again. Okay. Just because I can. And now just make sure that they're going to utilize a towel here. Not as wide as my little unit here. Okay. And I've just got my paper towel. It's just wet with the Gans water and charcoal and diatomaceous earth. If you don't want your fingers to turn black, then use gloves or something of that sort. Okay. I have plenty, they just get in my way. And where is my aluminum foil? Oh, I got some right here. The amount of aluminum foil that we are using here makes this 300 square foot roll we've got seem massive. Okay, again, I'm going to dip this into my charcoal water to ensure that it gets nano coated, and then I'm going to fold it in half. Okay. I know somebody's going to ask whether it makes a difference. You either use the shiny or if you use the other. It's all nano coated, so it really doesn't matter. But you know, whatever makes you feel better, guys. Okay. And the longer side, I always got my source side longer. So in case I determine, you know, I'm going to start a part or whatever, and it has to be taken out of it, I can always tell that it's the positive side because that's the longer side. Okay. So what I'm doing, I guess, is I even need to make this a little bit smaller. Okay. Okay. And again, you see me, I hold this end right here and I just twist. Okay. And then you can take your smaller gauge wires and use them as your jumpers. Okay, you can see this. This is 22 gauge. All right, you can see the discoloration because every chance that I got, I would take it and paint it with my charcoal, okay, to ensure that every single time I pulled out a piece of wire here, that I knew that it was going to be nano coated. I didn't have to worry about it. Okay. Part of working with light and everything else is you're just eliminating all the little steps that you want to worry about, like numbers, okay, things like that. All right. So I'm going to cut off a fairly big piece here, about 3 or 4 feet. And we're going to make ourselves little short wires. We'll see what kind of space we got on here on this little one, because the previous designs called for 5 wires. I'm pretty sure that you can use a thinner gauge wire. And it doesn't matter how many times you wrap it. All right. Just as long as it gets wrapped. So we're going to do 2 here. One and 2. Okay. And I have a feeling I see the way this is going to have to be connected. And it's going to look like a cross when it's done. We already know that this one is connected to this end. So we're just going to connect it. So now we put aluminum foil, okay, but it doesn't really matter because they're connected, okay. So you're just leaving a little bit of a space there, okay. And these other 2, 1, 2, 3, same things. Two and 3, 4. Okay. So we know that these 2 are going to get connected together. These would be the 3 that are in the center for the Q reactors. Okay. You've got a positive and a negative. Just twist them all together. And you're going to tie all these together. And again, tie these together. All right. So now we have a phi capacitor bead here. Okay. And for me, the longer one is always my source. Okay, so this would be the one that's bent over. All right, and it will join where these 2 points come together, where the 2 wires, okay, join together in the center. Okay, so we're going to, once again, place it over there. And twist it clockwise. This is the clockwise turn motions that we were talking about earlier. Again, split it in half, find the clockwise, and continue clockwise. And we have just made a phi cap capacitor with 64 field interactions with a plasma battery combination. Okay, and this will go on the outside right there. Okay, and because you've got a positive and a negative, which is determined by the tin foil, okay, you can take a wire and connect it. Okay, just take a little wire around this end, okay, and you can connect it so they're all in. Okay, connected. The negative side. All right. All right, guys. Are there any questions?
I don't see anything in the chat. I think you've been very directional with what you've been doing.
You have to speak up, Josh.
I said I don't see any questions in the chat. You've been very direct. What you've been doing, you've really been wide open. You see everything you're doing. You made it look really easy.
Well, I hope that it's easy. I really do.
When you first showed it, looked really complicated. I'm like, I made rodin coils. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Looks like a little favorite.
It's not that difficult, especially when you're working from the center out, and you've got to be the star. And when you are the star, literally, and you're looking outwards, what does it look like? Well, it kind of looks like that. Okay. You got to remember that the top coil is opposite the bottom coil, so you're creating your toroidal field. Okay. Just in the energy flow from these 8 coils. All right, these 8 coils that are on the top and the bottom here. All right, they're energy that's going to wrap around that center core and then be forced around the edges here.
You're mimicking the Earth itself.
Yep. We just recreated the north and the south pole of the Earth with the central core. Okay, kind of proving or disproving, however you want to look at it, the hollow Earth diagram. Okay, because this is how the Earth is created. This is, if you were to just build the structure of the Earth and the energy fields of it, this is what it would look like. This is what any planet would look like. Okay, with the north and the south pole. right? Which is the central core. If you were to go to, you know, the North Pole up there, you would probably see a little opening, okay? And maybe the same thing down there at the South Pole. I'm not 100% sure because it's full of ice and it's always being bombarded by the Third Reich and Naki and whoever else that's running down there.
Well, that's why you see the northern lights.
Yep. Well, the northern lights are created because of the ionization in the atmosphere, but the way the toroidal field comes and enters in there in the North Pole, yes, it creates the lights. So maybe we can create some lights doing this, you know. Need you guys' help to help with the experimenting on it, and remember that the top coil here, what we can do and how we can put these to use, because I'm pretty sure opposite that I only need to put these in the corners of the bottom vehicles. So you're creating your toroidal field. And given that it's got enough ionization or energy or it's separated correctly or give and take, everything is balanced, they should have on the top and the bottom here. I don't know, maybe this is because they're all eights, that's going to wrap around that center core Oasis unit. And then it's going to cover everything that the human body needs. Edges here.
You're making it amazing.
Yep.
If that
Just recreated the north and the south pole of the Earth with the central core. I'm not sure. Kind of proving or disproving. My brain is telling me to make these today. I've never made these before in my life today, but it looks like I'm freaking expert at it. Okay. You know, because I just made the Earth is 3 of these. This is here. If you were to just build the structure of the Earth and the energy fields,
but I do the same thing you do. I feel it and I start making it.
My question though is this required? Is this required to go over the top of this? Right?
Yes.
You know, central core.
I believe
if you were to go to on both sides, you know, the North Pole
just
up
like
there, you would
South Pole,
probably see a little
don't forget
opening.
that we're getting energy from the sun.
And maybe
it's
the
ringing
same
it.
thing down there at the South Pole. I'm not 100% sure.
You might be flipping the
full
pole
of
by putting
ice
one on the top,
and
one
it's
on the
always
bottom.
being yeah, because you see, if I put it this way, this is the direction whoever else that's running down there. It's supposed to be. Okay, if I put that center coil in there, that's the way this would be lined up, energetic wise.
Well, you're putting them on the outside like that too.
So if doing it that way, and I put it in the north this direction, yes, it creates the. If I put it this direction, and I set it on top, so now I'm sandwiching some lights doing this. This is what I'm doing here. Now I'm sandwiching it to help with the experimenting on it, and 64 field interactions. What we can do is how we can field interactions to create 64 field interactions. Because I'm pretty sure opposite. I only need to put these in the corners of the bottom vehicles. So you're creating your toroidal field. And given that it's got enough ionization or energy or it's separated correctly, I don't know. If I was to connect this positive to negative, okay, then I would be able to alternate these, okay, literally. I don't know, maybe this is around because they're all on a single wire. This is the core Oasis unit, okay, because there'll be positive, negative, the human body needs. So maybe I should build a small frame. Recreated the north and the south pole of the Earth, the central core frame out of 8-gauge wire. Kind of proving or disproving. My brain is telling me to make these today. I've never made these before in my life today, but it looks like I'm freaking expert at it.
In the inner, and your
that's how the Earth is 3 of these. This is here. Well, I'm looking. The structure of the Earth. It is energy field,
but I take the 22-gauge wire and just I feel it and start making it in certain spots.
My question though is this required? Is this required to go over the top of this?
You know what I'm saying?
Central core. If you were to go to on both sides, now you guys can see what I'm seeing here. Is looking at it directly on. Okay, because it's the magic in the middle. That's where the magic happens. It's always being in the middle. Yeah, because you see, if I put it this way, this is the fire reactor. It's supposed to space this. If I put that center coil in there, that's the way that it turned energetic wise. So what do you guys? doing it that way, is I put it this direction. Yes, it creates the. If I put it this direction,
I'm sorry.
and I
had to
set
shoot
it
a
on
message
top.
out real quick.
So now I'm sandwiching some lights. Okay. If we offset this, now I'm sandwiching it by about 120 degrees or 64 field interaction. We create the outer toroidal field in the direction that it's 64 field interaction. I'm pretty sure
That makes sense.
no, I only need to put these in the corners of my. If we put it equally, then we can.
What you're saying, you're gonna close the spin lines and pushing it all together.
Ionization
Back
or
out.
energy, yes. But I'm going to create it using these two, the energy. Connect this positive to negative, copper wire. You know, like
No. That's what you want to do. You're trying to get the plasma energy to spin and work.
Okay, literally, just decontain around because they're on a single wire. That's where this part comes in. It does need to be sandwiched. Human body needs, so I know that it's got to be sandwiched. Maybe I should build a small frame. Recreated the north and the south. How do we connect this? Frame out of 8-gauge wire. It doesn't tell me to make these today because it never made it all twisted in my life today, but that doesn't mean that it can't go through the center. It's just that my particular setup are pretty tough. I'm looking. It is.
Around the inside, just feel it, bring it up and out in certain
you can, I suppose, but the energy's already there. I don't know why. We're just,
you would just be
we
right.
don't need to remember. Now you guys can see what I'm seeing. We don't physically need looking at it directly on. Need those connections. Okay, because it's the magic we're trying to work. That's where the magic happens, is removing those connections. Because you see this, if I disconnect it this way, this is the fire it's supposed to space this. We have to understand that that's the way it's turned. Plasma light will connect to itself. If you make an Infinity device, it'll connect to other Infinities that one. This direction. You've ever made a health pen? If I put it this direction, you know, it's connected to all of the other health pens that you've made are made similarly. Now I'm sandwiching it by about 100. It's the shape. Like when a person takes and makes, you know, for instance, something like this. I don't know if this has ever been made before, you know, for plasma usage. I know that a rodin coil has, but I don't know if those two opposing coils on the inside has ever been done. You know, I don't know that kind of stuff.
No, I've seen a lot of rodin coils. I've never seen them.
You know, and to each person that makes one of these, it's, you know, sure, the design is set in stone, so to speak, meaning that when you design something, especially in copper wire and in Infinity, the design is yours. It's attached to your soul because you're bending the wire, you're awakening the atomic structure of that copper wire, and as soon as it starts to cool down, it's set in stone. That's where it comes in. So, you know, keep that in mind when you're bending these stuff, you know, on these wires, and you're designing and creating. So all of these designs that I make are basically attached to my soul. And it's a gift because I'm willing to share anything all the time, you know, all the way around. So now, I don't even know what you want to call these, okay, but if you've got 16, 8 in the center, on top, 8 on the bottom, they're joined together. The only thing connecting them is the single wire in the middle, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but there's just a single wire right here in the middle, okay? That's the only thing connecting those two coils there. So I think that needs to be the negative in there, is that I need to attach the negative wire to that and then a positive wire to the outer coil. That's what this is telling me, because with the outer coil right here doing all of its rotating, that would make it positive, okay? And it's wrapped around the center going in and out. So the center here would be positive, making the outer positive. And you need this center coils, these center coils here, to be negative, okay, to create the layering that's the energy layers, okay? And so you have one opposing coil on top and one opposing coil on the bottom, which means that it's going to create an energy and a pressure in the center of this, okay? Between the top and the bottom coil. It's going to create that pressure and contain the energy within the center. So how do we prove this?
Well, if we're making if it's forming plasma in the center, it should radiate out. You should be able. Well, some people should be able to feel the difference when they hold their hands over it and that.
In my I just touched my coil back there. Just testing some stuff out here, and I'm not seeing any other kind of reactions.
What does the system build up, or are you usually getting instantaneous on everything?
Usually it's got to dry. Okay? Yeah. And then when it's dry, I have my gold Gans in here. Okay, it's being washed from this, and I just stir this up, and I dipped all of the water coils, and I used the paintbrush and I painted some of this gold Gans that I've collected on here. But after everything's dried, then I will paint it again or dip it completely inside of this water, and then let it dry again. And it comes out as like a really, really deep blue, kind of, like the color of the spider.
Yeah, like a royal blue.
Yeah, it's almost like a royal blue connection, or not connection, but a Gans that's created. And then it dries into, it looks like copper oxide. Okay. I don't know if you can see the green.
Yeah, it does look like copper oxide.
No. It looks like copper oxide, and then once it, if you get it wet with coconut,
that's funny,
it's the easiest thing to do. You get sometimes you will get the excess amount of the propellant that they use that's in there, but other than that. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording here, and not going to end the meeting. I'm just going to stop the recording. Maybe.
Oh, wait a minute, I got control, I think.
All right. It's stopped.
Yes.
All right. Anuj, were you able to do a test or what? test stream that needed fast connection. All right. So you were able to do the live, and it was going to be saved directly to the YouTube channel. Is that what I'm getting? All right. You can stop the recording.
Yes. It stopped, right?
No,
No?
not yet. There it goes.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording because I'm going to have a cigarette.
Oh, no, he's
That's
smoking
mine.
again.
Yeah, I'm
You gotta
smoking.
be like Stefan, he rolls a fatty.
Well, if I had a fatty, I would roll one, but I don't. And I refuse to go get a loan just so I can go get some marijuana.
You're in Texas, grow all you want.
Oh, it's growing. It's just growing slowly.
Put CO2
We're stuck here with time.
CO2 Gans water on it, and you get the best you ever had.
Yeah.
Be smoking hemp.
Yep. So now I've got these extra rings here that I want to learn to do something with. And
When you said you made a mistake, I'm like, there is no mistakes. There's a reason why you did it.
oh yeah, there's a reason why I did it, and I know that. But you can see little things like this. These are like your little S coils that you can make, okay, for the palm of your hand or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, Leaf makes them. I taught it in Hawaii for the little S, the S shapes. These are a lot more powerful, guys. So keep that in mind. Where the wires come together up here on the tops, okay, acts like a capacitor.
or
Okay.
gravitational magnetical.
Yeah, you get the opposing forces, okay, but where they meet and they're twisted over, they act kind of like a capacitor for plasma. Okay, and they'll build up in between the spaces there, and then it'll discharge. Okay, further, and each one of these rings is a field interaction. So you determine what your field interactions are going to be. Now, I think what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to, play with these and connect them somehow to create the fundamental forces of the universe.
When you just did that right there, I thought of Tesla's. You ever see Tesla's TPU?
No. I love Mr. Tesla's work, but I haven't studied any of it because I couldn't understand 90% of the words that
Nobody
were in the
can.
paper.
The only way you're going to be able to do, you got to go to Practical Guide to Free Energy, the PDF, and it has his patents on it. And you look at the patents, and once you start looking at it, you realize that he was using crystals when he made the crystal radio. He was getting energy from the crystals. It took me, I don't know anything about electronics. That was like the roadmap for me to get started. And I started looking at a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
But what he was doing, he was actually using the earth itself, and he was collecting we call it plasma. He was calling it ether back then. Had one wire, and he was using bismuth. He was actually getting the radio waves, any kind of wave, neutrino waves, all of them were hitting him, and he was collecting energy because he made a capacitor.
What's a good purpose or use for a pulse of powerful electricity, DC?
What was that?
A pulse of DC electricity, okay? Because I've got an electric fence out here that will jump and arc out on my metal fence post about, a half inch to even further away.
That's like 1,000 volts. You could take an old charger, phone charger, old ones has a transformer in it.
Mm-hmm.
Without the electronics, pull it apart. The step down transformers, you turn 110 and like the 5 volts in it. Flip it over and put 2 wires going out. Have somebody hold it, take a 1 volt battery and tap the wire. Boom, boom. He'll piss his pants. They'll knock him on his ass. No, because it'll jump back to 120 in reverse.
Well, I don't need to make them piss their pants, but I do want to utilize my electric fence. And I know it pulses at a constant pace.
That you get the earth ground. I don't know if did you see Alex's setup that time he made? He called it the hammer.
No.
When he made their mag riv. Well, what Alex did, we just call this a stacker. Can you see this? He made a stacker and he ran the positive wire to here, and nothing else was connected. Then in the plug, you have your neutral wire.
Mhm.
He ran that, and he used the earth ground.
I can't see your screen yet.
How about now? Can you see it now?
Yeah.
And this is the earth ground. Let's see. Here's the neutral.
Hold on. Let me try to remove.
And this is
Myself as a big. There you go.
Okay. Can you see it now?
I don't know why it's not letting me choose your screen. There we go.
Well, anyhow, what he did, he took it and he ran the earth ground and the neutral wire out of the plug only. He ran the positive to the stacker, and he had a capacitor on the end of the stacker, wasn't connected to anything. And the earth ground, and then he pulled the power out of the earth ground and the neutral from the box. And and it neutralized the meter. The meter wasn't even moving. It was 90% from Jump Street.
Okay. Now the issue with that, okay, is here in America, that'll get you thrown in jail. Okay.
No, that's now what I was
I
thinking.
don't recommend it. Okay, it is an option, and it will bounce your meter down to zero. Okay, but you are stealing electricity when you do it that way.
But here's another way. I have a small solar setup in my workshop like you got.
Hold on, let me finish this because the people are listening on this. I know it's not recording. Okay, it is stealing if you connect your wires that way. Okay, you can go to jail for that particular setup. Okay, you cannot go to jail for the setups that you got when you're creating an induction field using nanomaterials. Okay, but if you bypass that hot wire, okay, and then run your load off of the neutral and try to pull it out of the ground, you still need electricity, which is coming to your house. All right, and when you need that electricity, you're stealing it because you're no longer paying for it. There's a difference when you're feeding energy back into the grid and you're just taking and not giving any back. So keep that in mind, that there is an option for that.
There's another option here. This is option B that I thought about. I even told Stefan about this one. Is getting a small inverter, hooking it to the battery setup with the solar panels, and tapping off the neutral off the inverter, and run the power from the inverter to the earth ground. I mean, earth grounding rod. By a rod, I'd pound it into the ground. Now I use something similar. My grounding rod's next to an old well, like Tesla used to do, because running water has a ton of energy underneath the ground. It's where most of the energy is from.
Through my electric fence, I have a 6-foot grounding rod that's completely copper that's put in there. The one thing though that I want to, it's talking to me. It's telling me that I need to utilize the energy from my electric fence to send out a pulse. Okay, every time that energy fires, it's going to send the energy through whatever I've spliced into that wire, and it's going to give a pulse off. Okay, of a high powered pulse, because this one I think this one's meant for bulls and stallions, because I just got rid of my stallion. So I think it's like, upwards of 1,000,000 volts, something like that. DC.
No amps.
And,
Amps, there's no amps at real low amps.
Yeah, it's like a half amp, if that. But it'll bring you down, when you touch it, it'll bring you down to your knees.
Well, that's how a stun gun works. There's really no amps. The amps that kill you, but the electric could collapse the muscles. Right.
And so that's what I'm trying to figure out what I can put out there, because right now it's dividing. I started a new little grass field. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pulsar.
Yeah. I started a new little grass field, and it's just separated by an electric fence. My horses aren't interested in the grass because there's it's not giving off a flavor, or it's not giving off a scent of some sort. So they're not trying to, you know, reach through the fence or anything like that, which I find is odd, because I did this for the saltwater CO2, you know, when you're making Gans, the seawater Gans.
I've dumped it too, and I had a ton of
And if you dilute it down, you still have all the nutrients and it's still energized, like, you know, the CO2. And so I made this entire field of it, and I was expecting my horses and my geese to eat grass, and they won't go near it. And I haven't put anything on it yet. You know, they'll just like go out there, to take a couple of bites, they'll even sniff it, but they won't eat it. And I'm not understanding why at the moment, but I haven't applied anything, any CO2 or anything like that to it yet. It's just the grass and water, the grass seed.
I tried to CO2 water, just the clean water off the top, and see what that would do.
Yeah, once I get my lawnmower here on the 1st, I'll go out and mow it, and then I'm going to spray some of the diluted salt water. I mean, it's just going to be fresh water. There's no salt in it anymore.
That's what I was going to say. Salt usually kills a lot. Did you get any wild dandelion seeds and throw them all in there? Because they love the dandelions. All the nutrients in them dandelions, that'll help your yard too.
I've got wild everything out here. You know, my wife just made a jar of jelly today from berries that she just picked, you know. So, I mean, she made a single jar of jelly out of it. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, as far as the rest of the stuff is concerned, I don't know, man. Trying to create as we go, and I got to take this piece off of here because I'm going to make another one. It's a lot. What are we going to do with it, though? This is where I need you guys.
Don't rush. It's going to come to you. You just got to take your time. You know that.
It all comes together nice and easy.
I'd like to, well, hold on. I'll get a rodin coil I made. I don't want to show up, but hold on a minute.
Any of you guys participating on anything that you'd like to add? Feel free to jump in, guys. I promise you I'm not going to bite. Unless you ask, anyway. I'm just going to make a couple of these pie caps.
Now, I was pulsing these wires. You ready?
Do what?
I was making pulsers with these, making the gravitate. I was making the magnetic field in the centers. These are rodin coils. This is 2-dimensional. Just get a picture that's 3-dimensional like you have.
Right.
I made different ones, different sizes. Some 2 wires, some 3 wires. I was playing with them for a while.
Yeah. What are you going to do with it?
Well, I was trying to make a pulse motor with them.
Okay. How about a spaceship engine?
Well, that's what it is. You know that. You know what a rodin coil is.
Yeah.
It's a black hole.
I just wanted to say the word spaceship.
Anyhow, well, what I was trying to do is making a pulse motor with them and try to run them on real low current and stuff like that. But everything works to a point, but they have limitations.
Well, what are those limitations?
You can't get enough out of them. Just like with hydrogen and everything else. Unless the only hydrogen I ever seen that worked is Aquatune. It doesn't use any KOH or anything in it.
Well,
It works directly off water, but you have to live in a warm environment.
how do we make hydrogen, right? by utilizing stainless steel, KOH,
Distilled water.
okay, and distilled water, right? And run an electric current through there, and it
Yeah,
creates
but you have
hydrogen.
you left the most important thing off. There's two ways you can bang with amps, or you have to,
Okay.
and you know that because you played with it too.
It requires a. Don't assume that I know some things, okay? Just because I'm intelligent when it comes to plasma does not mean that I understand how electronics work, or, you know, I went to ITT Tech for the first semester, okay? And that was the extent of my electronic engineering, because, and the only thing I really learned was the basic electricity, which is all that I needed. They gave me a whole bunch of books that I could pay for.
I remember that.
So,
Did you? Yeah, but like I said, Aquatune. If you look that up, they even made it more simpler. I was thinking about using ultrasonic for gasoline, vaporizing gasoline with ultrasonics. I'll give you a hint. This is where my thought. I had a vaporizer on. You know the cold vaporizers.
okay.
They use a ultrasonic crystal. That's why you get that fog come out of them, that cold vapor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about using gasoline. Then there were some guys that were playing with that, and then one guy turned around. He figured out how to use it to make hydrogen with regular water. They put it directly into your intake in your car. They have little systems. Use
Okay.
water as a catalyst.
Well, water is the most important thing
It's one of
when
the
it comes.
biggest. Well, I tried to play with Epsom salt. Epsom salt has 7 hydrogens in it. I was trying to unlock Epsom salt.
Okay.
In fact,
So,
I got it. Well, this is still running. Can you see the light on in this? I built this about a year ago. It's a crystal light.
nice.
It works electric. It's a crystal battery.
Right. I understand that part.
Very low amps. Hutchinson was the first to play with that. John Hutchinson.
Yeah, with the
Yes.
Hutchison effect. There we go. So yeah, it's just a matter of taking care of the little odds and ends. Okay, you've got your rodin coil. You said that it's limited.
Yes.
Okay. The way that you make it unlimited is to give it a plasma capacitor battery.
All right. There's a
Hybrid
gentleman
one.
that just released something new. I don't know if you know him, IQ. He just released the silicon crystal power source. It charges itself back up. Calls it the black box.
I don't know. My me personally, I've just been holed up absorbing the last couple of days. I've just been sleeping really, because I don't know, my sleep schedule's been all screwed up.
You ain't the only one.
Well, I know I'm not, and it's, so I've been sleeping the last couple of days, and getting up at random times. What time is it? Why am I at now? And
Well, I think we're close in time. What time is it there right now? I got 8:01 here.
it's 7:01 here Central Time.
All right, it's hour difference. And I woke up yesterday at 3 in the morning. I said, if I run I don't know if the stackers, like the one I made him, even though they're running a series, do I wanted them? They're fine. Then I'm going to make another one. And I don't know if you Blueprint 26. You probably never watched it. But, you're running the coils, and the coils inside one another, and there's only one connection down to the bottom coil now instead of flipping the wires back and forth.
Okay.
It's just
traffic is picking up here, so you're gonna have to speak up a little bit more.
It's supposed to be a pure plasma field. It's supposed to be more of a plasmatic field instead of having all the breaks going up and down. You're having it loop. It's going gravitational, magnetical back out, and gravitational coming back out as magnetical.
Right.
It's supposed to be more of a dynamic field, which makes sense when you look at it. You know, that's the biggest thing. When you start talking about the stuff, you start learning, you start understanding like the stuff you're doing now. It looks so complicated. After you showed it, it makes all the sense in the world. You made it look so simple when you made it. When I first seen it, I'm like, wow, that's a huge center. That was the first thing.
Good. That's the idea here. Make it simple. So yeah,
That's what I wanted to ask you. Well, let me get another toaster. I remember we talked about mutating the metal, getting it almost to a bronze.
okay. What about?
I was thinking about cooking it, getting it up 400 degrees, cook it for about an hour, get it to turn bronze, a coil, dip it into activated charcoal, or dip it first.
You can do that. I mean, it's not gonna. It's not the same way that I would do it personally. You know, I only use heat when I have a very, very tight coil.
Well, that's what I want. I'm going to roll it tight.
So, yeah, if it's a really tight coil, then I'll use the heat, like the induction from the stove.
We use the word induction. You talking magnetic induction? A magnetic?
No, you just use a regular stove top, electric stove,
Okay.
and it creates an induction field. That's where you get the you have the opposing coils in there, and that's what creates the heat, the friction between the electrons, and that's what turns your burner red hot.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't realize it, but it is an induction coil, and that induction helps heat up the copper evenly, or any metal that you put on top of it helps it heat up evenly. So now I've got another phi cap piece. I'm just gonna attach it.
It's so much easier making them that way than trying to paint them with the CO2 Gans with the and sitting here and trying to roll them.
Yeah, but we don't necessarily know. I understand that it'll work, okay? In the positions that we've made it, but it's the people are going to have to try it, and when they figure out that this is superior to any other setup that they've got out there, then they'll start making them, you know, and that's what makes it simple. So now I've got two of these. They're wet. I'm just going to let them dry. They would have 64 field interactions, so that would be the two that I would need on one side. I'll need two more on the other side. Okay. Any questions, guys? As you can see, I'm just undoing.
Well, it's easier for you to wrap the capacitors that way.
Yeah, I'm just undoing what I've already done because I'm learning as I go.
Well, that's a big thing right there. You can undo your work and do what you have to do. The other way, you're screwed.
Yep. All right, so we got the source in there. You can see the
Yes.
wire bent over there. Now, when you're making them, obviously you want to make the wires. This is one of the first ones that I made. Make them a little bit longer so you have a little extra to wrap. Okay.
I'll be honest with you. If I would have seen these the other day, Mike, I would have put them on the other device that I made.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely would have. Because they're more compact. I might use them on another one when I make it now.
Again, I'm just dipping it in the charcoal Gans mixture. And working with a wet paper towel is just as difficult as it sounds.
It ain't more difficult than that wax paper when it's wet.
Well, I'm trying the paper towel here because it is more absorbent, but you know, parchment paper is more prevalent around the world. So, you know, there's always some places that has some sort of a baking paper.
Yeah.
But me, I'm always looking for something that's a little bit more absorbent. I bought some heat shrink tubing because I had considered heat shrinking these. If I was to put like a Gans paste or something on the inside of that, that was something I had considered. And
You ever use liquid tape?
it's funny you say that because I have some. I have not used it yet. I just found it actually. But yeah, I used it's like liquid electrical tape is what
Yes.
it's called.
Yes.
I was considering using it as well.
How about the hot glue? You think you could seal them in hot glue would be even better?
I don't know. Hot glue is pretty ugly looking. Even though you can see through it, you know, it's just a matter of So
Well, I don't know how fast the liquid electrical tape dries down. You know, if it becomes runny.
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but I will. I've got some manufacturers of these little buildings. It's a distributor that's out here. And they've got a whole bunch of buildings that are out there. And I'm considering putting together a small little proposal and show them how they can take each one of those little buildings and give it independent power. That changes the market from a shed to a home.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
And because you don't have to, excuse me, it's not run off of an electrical system, it's only run off of plasma, you don't have to adhere to the federal code.
Not yet.
Oh no, we are the federal code. Don't
Yeah.
don't sell ourselves short here.
If they know there's a quarter in it, they're gonna be right on it.
Yep. So we are. There we go.
I'll tell you what, by the power of the internet, I promote you to head of all plasma in Texas.
You're a what?
By the power of the internet, I promote you to be in charge of all plasma in Texas. It's been recorded now. It's official.
It's official. Man, I did it again. I got distracted.
No, I better leave you alone. I'll put it on mute.
No, you're fine. It's me. I needed to wrap my capacitors here. Good thing these wires are short. If you guys ever wonder why my fingers are sore, this is it. Because I'm trying to figure out the easiest way. Because I know that you guys, majority of you, if not all of you, have a job to go to. And you have a family that you've got to take care of. And I don't have to go to work. I do have a family. But if I can make your job a little bit easier, simply by working at home, working on the internet for you guys, providing a little Zoom account, because that's what you guys have provided for me, so that you can see this stuff. Then we will change fucking history.
What amazes me is how much knowledge everybody has, and they're all bits and pieces, but they're very important bits and pieces. And you start putting them all together.
Yep. You have to speak up.
I said, what amazes me is everybody has knowledge that they've been sitting on, they want to share. It's all bits and pieces, but they all go together. Once you get it, once you start looking at everything, you start understanding more and more rapidly.
That is correct. When you're able to, you know, lift the veil of communication and fear, then we can move forward in society. And that's what we're doing right now. We're moving forward. Okay. Okay. So this one connects to this one. This one connects to this one. These two are going to connect. And wrapping wires. That's all we're doing here. And you're going to see that all of this is monotonous and repetitive. And there are people out there that would love to do this for a living. And eventually we'll get to that point. All right.
If you added your oxygens to that, your two O's, what would that do? Or you add your H2Os to that?
To what? To this ring?
Yeah, to the ring that you're building now, if you added that on and stuck it on.
You know, I was considering that before I even started the video. Was placing the eights, you know, the 8 rings.
Yeah.
Across the center, because I was looking for the water personally, and I think that we would have some fantastic results. So there's another capacitor with 64 field interactions. That's 3. And I know I need at least one more, right? One more for the outside. So, okay. Let's do this. Let's see here. I do have. Let's make this a little bit better. This is my last roll. My last roll, and I'll be out for about a week or so because I'm out of money, and takes a little while to deliver. But it's not much. Let's see here. We're gonna make a newer version of 9. How's that? The simplified version of 9. Okay. All this, the source side. Source. Okay.
Yeah, what's going on inside here?
Let's see here. Oh, 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 let's see, 3. So we want 3 field interactions to start. So we're going to create the Trinity wire. It's folded just like the magnetic circuit. So now I've got 3 field interactions, 3 wires. All right, that's what's there. My goal is to get one that fits across here. Okay, that's the goal here. So we're going to use 3 and all the derivatives. 3. Okay, so we're going to make a regular Trinity wire. Okay. Okay, now we've just made a Trinity wire, right? And now we're going to do that again. So now I've got the Trinity wire. That's pretty good. Okay. So now you got 3 wires, right, that we have just twisted up. And now you've got 3 more field interactions, or 3 more setups. So you've got 3, 3, and 3. 3, 6, and 9. Okay. When we twist this together, we get the total field interactions of 9. 9 is the divine 8. Blah blah blah. You guys are probably hearing me tired of hearing me say that. So we're going to start this right here in the center. I use the chuck to pinch the wires. Okay. Make sure this is pinched, twist it. If you twist it too hard, you might end up breaking the wires. So just kind of go with your own feelings. Okay. The number of twists that you put in there is your security code. Okay. So now this bad boy fits right across there, and now you've got a 9. Okay. And it's different than the 9 that we did here. As you can see, it's a little bit thicker, right? So it's a little bit more compact. We take that, get your paper towel out, aluminum foil. Once again, more repetition. But it's a repetition of love. Pretty soon, when you start figuring this shit out, you realize, guys, it is all made the same way. Okay. I hear somebody in the background barely. That's okay. I'm just saying, if you're talking, you need to speak up. And again, minute amounts of aluminum foil, what we're using here. Dip it in your charcoal solution so you know that it's nano coated. And twist it on there. I always put it on the opposite side since this is my source side right here. I will put the aluminum foil on the opposite side because I know that's the positive side, this is the negative side when it comes to these electronic devices. Okay. I'm not really twisting the aluminum foil. I'm more so creasing it to help keep the shape of the wire. Okay.
What's up, Mike?
What's going on? Who is this?
Catadan.
How are you today?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
Oh, good. You learned something new today?
This is why I'm here.
You're late. You're late, Dylan. You're late.
It's all right.
Hello there, Joseph. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm trying to make a change here in my little Dominican island.
Gonna own it all.
Yeah, I'm infiltrating the government, you know.
Infiltrating them with Infinity.
Oh, yeah.
Infinity.
Getting somebody part of the OCS Organization for Eastern Caribbean States going to recommend me to the committee, so I could be part of the committee because they're getting like millions of dollars from Japan for renewable energy resources, and they're only thinking about solar.
Good.
So the government decides who's on the committee. So she's going to recommend me on that committee. You know?
Well, good. Hopefully they expand a little bit more than just solar, but you know, we'll take what we can get.
I want to be part of it because I told them that they need additional expertise.
That's right. You are the expert.
Yeah, they want to fund different water projects for water catchment and water purification, renewable energy and agriculture.
Well, Japan needs to clean their water first before they start giving advice. But I know I can appreciate the the efforts. It's a step all in the right direction. So.
Yep. So what's the latest? Talk to me, man. How did your water device go? You harvesting any water yet? What are you doing right now?
No, right now it's finishing up its nano coating. I just dipped all of the coils, or everything that's inside of that bucket. I painted some gold Gans on it that I have and that I've been collecting.
Oh, nice. I made some.
Yeah, to put on the water reactor because I want it to be energized by gold energies. And I attached it to my DC power supply to C, and I turned down all of my voltages and all that kind of stuff because it's just DC power supply.
Yeah.
Turned down the voltage and everything, and it's trying to feed me 12, and I think it's gone all the way up to 15 volts. It's tried to feed me through my power supply. I don't even have my my positive wire hooked up. It was just the ground wire because I wanted it to be grounded to earth.
Right.
And as soon as I turn the power on to it, it starts beeping and screaming at me and yelling, and then it shows and tells me that I'm getting 12 or 13 volts and starts beeping at me. So we'll see what it can do.
Okay.
I just wanted to get the flow of energy down, you know, to make sure that it was positioned and moving correctly, and it all works. I'm just trying to figure out why my DC voltage meter is capable of giving me voltage without having voltage applied. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I actually experienced that with my small 12-volt DC adapter that I bought recently.
I think it's nano coated, but you know, I don't have a way to check or find out any of that stuff. So I'm just
DC adapter. You could switch it from like 1.5 volts to 3 volts to 5.5 to 7 to 9, 12. And even when I set it to 1.5, it was showing me like 50 volts or something like that. But I realized, I don't know, for some reason, I had my tester on it, and it was showing. But then I plugged my DC fan to it, and actually, when I lowered from 12 volts to 9 volts, to, you know, going back down, you
Yeah.
use the fan with the LED lights, you know, slowing down, and the LED lights want to go off, you know, like when I get to 1.5 volts, so it's a 12 volt fan.
yeah. If I just turn it on?
So,
Oh, now you're gonna make a liar out of me?
why do they always want to make liars out of you when I'm here?
All right. Well, before it was all it was doing was beeping, and now it's giving me 0 voltage. So, you know, teach its own.
Yeah, you know, like it's draining. If you put a load, it drains it, and you get a real voltage, you know.
Yeah. All right. So now, as you can see, I have 4 of these Infinity 5 capacitors.
Infinity capacitors.
Infinity 5, PHI.
Infinity capacitors. I like it.
So, what am I going to do with this? I know that I need to put these 4 rings in the center. Did you miss the beginning part?
Yeah, I just came in. Yeah. Wow, what is that? Looks like the Earth, you know, magnetic field going out the top. Well, it looks like a plasma particle, actually.
It is, but it's a rodin coil. Okay, they're attached here in the center. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the beginning and the end right there in the center. Okay, and then I've got a separate set of coils that are like this. Okay, that are wrapped around the center toroidal field.
Okay.
All right, and later when I get the video uploaded, you can watch it. Okay, I'm not making any more.
But are we recording right now?
No, I was recording.
Oh, okay.
I've already done all this on recording. There's no reason to have like 8 hours of recording to show the same stuff. But this is the concept that I have, was to stack these.
Wow.
Okay, and these are capacitor rings.
All right.
They're just infinity rings. All right.
Help amplify the energy.
Yeah, and so, you know, I wanted to sandwich it in between here, but I'm going to build a frame that I can connect these to. and stick that inside of this because that's where they're headed.
Oh,
And so I've got 3. And the way it should be is it should be one in between,
nice.
like so.
Nice.
Okay. And then these go on the sides, like so. Little house of cards here. So this is the way the unit would look if you were to have it set up.
That looks great, man.
So this little setup is all going to be crammed into this thing. And when I figure out the ins and the outs, the positive and the negative in here, then this is going in my car.
So that's your teleportation device.
Yeah. Now I haven't determined if I'm going to make these little phi caps to go in between these.
Okay.
I haven't decided yet. I'm taking a popular opinion.
The more capacitors, the better, right?
So, all right, well, that's like having 64 capacitors. How many more do I need?
Oh, so you crammed. That's true.
Yeah, each one of these has 9, and then the outer rings has 8.
Wow.
So, 9 is the divine 8, so 8 times 8 is 64. So I've got
Right.
64 field interactions here and here and here. Each one of these has 64.
And how well are they keeping their charge? And how much charge is it putting out?
Well, they're just putting out, I don't know about the charge yet, but
Oh, but
they're not
so this
dry.
is using the ashes. You caustic coat.
Yeah, this is just ash activated. It's activated charcoal, fresh water.
All right. Zero point.
Some sea Gans.
Gans? You
I
use
use sea
Gans?
Gans in my charcoal mixture. It's in this mix right here.
Okay.
Oh, voltmeter. Where did you go?
Did you check the pH of the water when you were making your sea almost?
When I was making what?
The pH of the water.
Did I? No. It doesn't matter to me. That's, it's one of those details that doesn't matter, I guess.
Well, I saw that they said that there was a sacred pH number of 10.9 that you should try and raise the pH to, and that you would get the best quality sea ormus if you raise the pH using a electric pH tester or pH switch to like 10.9, and you get the best extraction method.
Right. Okay. That's for Gans, right?
Yeah, again, sea ormus. So sea ormus mainly, actually.
Wow. This is quite compelling, actually, here. It jumps all the way up to 30 millivolts. There's 90. So yeah, that's pretty. That's 112, 118 right there for this particular one. Let's see if there's any current.
I was getting up to 600 and 800 millivolts on that little contraption I was building of yours.
Yeah.
Remember that one you had to close in the rings?
Yeah, with the pillars.
Yeah, I actually didn't get so successful in closing it together because when I closed it, it started moving around and shifting all over.
Right.
I was wondering if maybe I should use some glue, and glue it down. And
Anything's possible. I mean, just get creative. Don't. I'm just showing different things that we can do as a group.
right. I was wondering because I put some I put some not CO, I put some CO2 in the center. When I reopened it, I put the negative on the copper. I was getting a much higher charge when I put the tester on just a little bubble which had the CO2 in it.
Okay.
All the rest of it, that was coated supposedly with acids, didn't really have much of a charge at all.
Well, trial and error.
Yeah, of course.
I just go with the flow. It's just really easy stuff here. This is
Yeah,
8 wire that I'm using. I'm going to create 2 terminals on either side. Okay, 2 coming off of the negative side. Okay, 2 coming off the positive side, so it gives me 4 points of contact. Okay, and one side's going to be positive, one side's going to be negative. So the idea is that I want these to be positioned in place so that all I've got to do is insert my coil, okay, and it'll hold the coil by itself and it'll become its own sandwich. Okay, so these coils can be removed. I think that's what I'm looking for here. So we're going to create it. How do we create something that we don't have? Use your imagination.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you think it.
Now, let's see how far this is going to hang over the top, okay, of this jar. Okay. So we've got about that much space hanging up over the top of this jar, okay? It's a lot easier to straighten your wire out before you cut it, especially when you start cutting things short. Okay. Learn from my own experiences here, guys.
Can somebody tell me what's the latest on the new device that Kesh released with the ping pong ball or the glass ball with the charged water to create the field around you, like the house field? Joseph, tell me how's your design going?
I'm still looking at it. I'm still playing with my head. I've been testing around, but I can't sled yet. I just started now.
Gotta talk into your microphone, Joe.
Can you hear me now? Dylan?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
The most important part to that is the Gans of water, but the Gans of lead water is the most important part with that. Got a chance to see the release. I didn't watch it, but some of the release.
Say that again. I think. Wait a minute. All right, go ahead. Say that again.
Well, the Gans water that he's using for the energy, CH3, CO2, and the Gans of lead, a couple drops in the reactor that you need to spin. You have to watch it because he changed it a little bit, but Armin released a video that he made that it was blocking sound itself until he spoke, and it would activate again. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I've not seen it. I want to ask a question. Do you think it has to be around? Does it has to be around glass? Could it be square?
No, he said you can use ping pong ball too if you have to.
You can use.
Yeah, but the glasses, you can order Christmas bulb, glass Christmas bulbs, clear. Do the same thing. They're inexpensive right now. It's out of season.
Does it has to be circle or can it be square?
Well, you want the circle because it's spinning. You need the circle to close the vortex.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the universe.
I have all my GANs already. I have CO2, I have CH3, I have copper, and I just made some lead yesterday, and I made some gold and bronze today.
You're just rolling, aren't you?
Yeah. So
Yeah, that ocean, there's nothing better than that ocean.
Rolling. We're getting rid of our old jewelry that we can't use anymore.
I don't have jewelry.
I'm getting rid of my wife's jewelry.
My golden boy.
It's funny you say that because that's what she always calls me. Because every time I would get a speeding ticket, even though it was in the same freaking town, 3 days apart, 3 different cops, never got a ticket.
yeah, you work
I
out.
like that. I go in here, I get a ticket, no problem. Blah, blah. I mean, just she let me have it. So, all right. All I've done here is I've just bent over these ends. Now I'm going to make a space for the.
What do you guys think would be the best demonstration I could do for these people next week? There's this big exhibition happening. There's going to be hundreds of people there, and
The CO2 patches for painting it.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, like something small, patches and.
Keep it simple. Let them get an idea.
You can make a health patches, like I said, using CO2 and like a little plastic bags. If you just want something simple, then that would be the case. And if you want something that they can feel and have some results from, then add a nano-coated piece of copper
Yes, and hit it with the
to
meter.
your health pad. Okay.
So how do you suggest I incorporate the nano piece of copper to the health pad? Like you're talking
Just
about.
put it inside the plastic bag. Don't read into this. Just put a nano-coated piece of wire inside your plastic bag with your paper towel or whatever you've got in there, okay? And it will. It's the battery for your health pad.
To charge it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was researching about how GANs actually really work in core with the electrons on the surface of the copper wire.
Mm-hmm.
They have you see like how you have the atom shape in your hand right there with the circle. The copper electrons, they actually pull in the energy and they push it out from at the top and the bottom.
Okay.
Well, they pull in from the top and something like that, and they push it out to the side. And the GAN, it's like a plasma field, so it goes in and comes out the bottom, and goes in the top and comes out the bottom.
Like a banana.
Right. So when the GANs interacts with the electron on the surface of the copper wire, the electron turns into, or it uses the energy of the GANs and it pulls it into itself and projects it out. So it becomes like the field GAN.
Like a vortex vacuum.
Right.
Okay.
All right, Dylan, I'm going to show you something simple that you can show them so they get an understanding and they can feel it.
All right.
Hold on. Can you see me?
Hold on. Yeah, I see.
Get two magnets, pull them apart, let them pull in there. And then slowly they'll feel the fields will feel them turn too. You know what I'm doing?
Ah, okay.
It don't matter what kind of magnets you have, but don't give them neodymiums, they get hurt. And they can actually feel the field so they can get a general idea. Even though you can't see the plasma, they can feel that something doesn't in between stuff.
Right, that's it. You're putting the two positives together.
Yeah, they'll feel it. But when they move it, they'll actually feel the fields go around. You can actually feel the magnets. Put them in your hand. You can actually feel them turning.
Ah,
You
okay.
actually feel the pressure going around. You can actually feel
Right.
like it's curving.
Right.
It's usually visuals are usually pretty good for people. The way I understand plasma, the most simplest way I ever heard it is like a banana. Skin on a banana. The energy goes down around the outside, and the inside stays neutral. I don't know. I'm the only thing that talks and stuff.
No, I yell at my controller. We have a love and hate relationship sometimes, it seems.
I like when I wound coils a few times and I was tired.
And I had them close together, go to get up, they got snagged on my shirt, and they pull them all down.
Yeah. Ooh, you son of a bitch.
I'll kick your ass.
Right. I like playing around with this stuff as much as I don't have to, but at the same time, I love all of my work. So now I have.
The heavier the gauge wire, the harder.
You shouldn't. Did you think about annealing that wire at all, Mike?
Do what?
Putting heat on it with the torch, you nail it so it's softer and easier to work with the heavier wire.
Yeah, it is, but I'm not. I know what I'm working with, so
Okay. Well,
when I start working with it, it's already a mental battle. I've already won. I've already created it. So we got that ring. I'm gonna put caps in the center. Then I need to run that way. Cool. I like it. I think it'll do all right there, pearl lady. I know I'm a dork. But where's that? Put this one on top. Positive, negative, positive, negative. Bam. All four corners taken care of. Sandwich down. Now I've got a whole unit. So now you can see that I've got a whole unit that I can pull in and out of this thing. That's the way the cookie.
do that 5.
Are you gonna use small wires to connect the top to hold it in place?
Yeah, I'm gonna connect all these into place so that I make sure I've got the positive and the negative terminal. But this is what it looks like. The 3 stacker. This one's obviously messed up, but
You're going to be flying in a week.
so it looks pretty, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
A couple of rodin coils there, and the central cores. And one side is positive and one side is negative. And I will connect I'll connect these together probably. Okay, so they come to a point maybe. Since triangles are great too. I don't know. I'll figure this part out on my own.
Well,
That's very beautiful. Could you put the multimeter on it, see if, what's happening? Because you have a capacitor and you have some current, so maybe you could look around it, and it's going to tell you which rod will be positive or something like that. And I got this little puppy here. I'm thinking maybe you should call it like the Trinity Infinity, because look inside. Inside it has I know Infinity loop with the donut.
Let's see here. Down there, so that would make this side the negative. Okay. Assuming that we touch this one correctly. And this one be positive over here. Yeah, see, it's not wired down all the way. I don't expect there to be a good connection.
But if you short the tops, Mike, on 4 posts, like positive to negative, negative to positive, jumping back and forth, like crisscross them with a wire.
It's really nice. Be a nice big model would be great.
I don't think you need big. What he has here.
All right, this right here, if I hold it, right now it's zeroed out, okay? And after about 10 or maybe 15 seconds or so, the polarity will pop, okay? And I can see the negative symbol pop up. Okay? When it does that, it jumps all the way fuck back up. Oh, somebody beeped me.
That's interesting. Yeah, keep in mind, guys, the bigger the better, because the bigger the gap between the coils, the bigger the flow.
I'm getting 80 millivolts.
The one thing Miko made me realize is when you make systems with different sizes of coils, like your spiral type of, got more energy within it. So the small parts of the coil gather energy fast, and they give you right off the bat, some savings. But after time, they could build up and reach the bigger coils, which then gives even more energy.
Right. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that. Oh, come on. All right, so from here, in order for me to maintain this shape, I've got to wrap these wires. Okay, so we're going to do that right now.
I had made a similar, like a donut capacitor with like 9 rings, and it was big like that, but I did not put the thing on the inside. When you reloop it within itself also, they're pretty easy to make. They're nice looking also.
Yeah. I like the rodin coil is appealing to the eye. This, to me, it's the shape, the way light travels and everything like that.
And there's a wide gap. There's a wide gap there, so there's a place to gather more and more energy. So the gap is good. The gap is cool, it gives it that potential to build.
So, what are we doing here, Mike?
Seems like we're both getting smaller and smaller in our building.
Well, we don't need this stuff, and we're realizing that we don't need any of these things to do what we want to accomplish here. And I'm getting frustrated because it won't come between my fingers like I want it to. Right. So got this one.
Teleported or flying.
You're not allowed to say teleported, it said.
I updated it with my here.
You got SimCity there?
Yeah. I want SimCity.
I was thinking about doing like a reproduction of the Giza pyramids, not with this one, but with a new one, like the exact same, like maquette. Pointed to the stars, see what it does.
Be careful where you point that thing. Alright, so this is the negative terminal. Yeah, we need to get this teleporting stuff done so we can start sharing ganja from around the world. That's my meditation tool now.
I'm trying to breed a system called a special breed called Frankenstein.
I was going to put my stuff in the wall, and I have some dangerous ideas on that. But some most efficient ones, if you know what I mean.
Yes, we understand. Yeah, I figure if people want to sit and watch me create something, we can create it. Maybe it'll inspire.
Yeah, that's very nice. It's a perfect art piece. It's really, really nice. And it's good. We could turn anything to a working system. So, so it's going to take the field that you're doing, and it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's going to collect it.
You're working in Infinity, and you got 3 going on. So
3 coils required.
You'll get out a nice feel, I think.
Now, I will spray this with caustic just to be sure that I get it. But
yeah,
like I pointed out earlier, that whenever I dip my stuff into my solution over here, it doesn't nanocoat.
Okay.
It does not nanocoat my wherever I've dipped it. My cold caustic does not nanocoat over the top of the charcoal. That's one thing that I figured out. And if I steam it, then it will probably work, or if I use heat. But
yeah, I tried something today, but I didn't have the right Gans, so I have to build upon it tomorrow. But I just took a few strands of different types of wire, put them together, and I nano coated them. And I wanted just to check out if really I could get more field interaction, what's really going on, and I figured that it should give me something different to work upon.
yeah, when you use different size wires,
yeah,
a potential difference just from the size.
Yeah, right now I only have the same size, but I went with different metals, so it's gonna still should work. But
Yeah, you see how
the bigger is, yeah, that's cool.
many different kinds here. I've got 22 gauge, I've got 18 gauge, I have 8.
Yeah, 8 gauge is pretty cool. I never worked with that 22 either, but 8 gauge is pretty interesting.
So this is what my reactor looks like now.
It's really nice. I like the fact that it has multiple sizes of wires, and yeah, you made it all work really well on those 8 gauge wire. You could like turn a section of it into a capacitor, then make a capacitor, wax paper around there, about there. You pick a place on the bottom, or then put aluminum, wrap your wire around it. So you could activate any part of it. You could place it anywhere you want. Or you just use my donut capacitor or something like that, any capacitor, and you hook it on the poles. The capacitor gives you the opportunity to not have a spark going on, so you can plug anything.
Yeah. I like it.
It will activate it. You could even like make 4 capacitors on the poles, like all around, plug them all together in parallel, and then hook your power in it, and make sure then you plug another wire anywhere on the system, and it'll. That's the trick to activating, is to really, like, when they make this new circuit board capacitors. So far it's still working, and I'm still getting all my energy off of it, and it's pretty amazing, because usually you always get problems with capacitors when you're really working with them like jumpers to jump into plasma state,
Right.
and without losing energy either. It's not that hard, but it's about, just like I told you, you'll make it, but don't make more than much than a turn and a half of paper on it when you do it.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because it'll create more of a gap, and the gap will not transfer all the current that you're putting into it, and it might not even work if you're putting too many wraps. So, like with the wax paper, 2 is like a lot. It has to be less than two times the wrapping on it. And for the scut towel, that's not as important as the wax. It could be thicker, but less is more sometimes, right? You get more of the energy.
All right. Well,
That's what basic.
down the center.
It's fucking nice.
Okay. They all line up down the center. Okay.
With graphene.
I like that. Yeah. And you really need to nano coat that thing, all of it. I nano coated all the fucking way, because
I'm gonna go put this on some heat because I've got really tight coils in here.
heat would be hard. You caustic it maybe. Just put it in there.
I've already dipped it, and I've got my aluminum foil on the center here.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
the caustic will eat the aluminum foil.
Okay.
But this is just a prototype. This is just the first one.
I make a big one like that, man. It's a success, that one. Make a big one. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it, because the form of it is a torus anyway. It's a donut, and you're within the confines of building a nice device. This is part of it. So
this is everything that is required.
Yeah. Exactly.
You've got. This should be an ionized hydrogen. There's one energy field that's on one end, one that's on the other end, and you've got the one that's stuck in the center. Okay. That one that's in the center is the one that's going to get the pressure to it, okay, which will cause it to expand. And that's where you get your open plasma from. Okay. But because I've got 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and 8, so that 8 times 2, 4, 6, that's 48.
Yeah.
48 field interactions inside the coils, okay, that are there. And then I've got 64 for each one of these capacitors. So I've got 64 encompassing this one right here. I've got 64 that's encompassing this one, and 64 that's encompassing this one.
The easiest way to test them out is to plug them like I do it, like I test on a 12-volt battery. You can tell in half an hour how much shavings you're getting. It's that easy to know if it doesn't work, then you just have to work on it with capacitors and bring the energy where you want it to travel to make sure that it travels exactly like you want it to.
Well, I think I'm going to redo these 4 corner posts because I want them to fit inside of this.
Oh yeah, okay.
Correctly, so set it inside and go from there. Since this one's going in my car, it's got to be very small.
Oh, okay, it's going in the car. Oh, that's perfect.
And with its all 4 corners.
Where you putting it in your car?
That's
Okay.
cool.
Huh?
These These little buggers, you can make a star system with these little buggers. I like it.
So I plan on using my car to go pick my father up since he lives up on the West Coast. And, you know, he told me that, you know, he would quit his job if I showed up in a spaceship or some sort of flying device, and I plan on holding him to it. And the idea is that I'm going to set this one up just like I would for the house, okay? This little device here.
Yeah.
Utilizing
Gravitational.
this plug. All right. And
Nice.
it's just a, you know, an adapter plug or a lamp plug or whatever. One's going to be positive, one's going to be negative, and then that will plug into my multi-plug adapter, okay, for AC. And then I've got this little power inverter for the car.
Okay, yes.
Okay. I have this little one here, and I'm going to see if it'll work. If it doesn't work,
It should work. Oh, if it's broken,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll work. I've got this one right here, which is a power bank. Okay. That plugs directly to the batteries, and you know, I can hardwire it if I want to. Comes fused, all that kind of good stuff. So
yeah, the small one will do the trick.
if the smaller one works fine, then that's going to save a lot of people money, because this right here is 75 watts continuous, 100 watts peak. And then it's got overload, auto overload protection, low voltage cutoff. And it says,
Why aren't you plugging it in car setup?
huh?
Why aren't you plugging it in a just regular car setup?
Because I want the,
Gravitational.
yeah, I want the gravitational and the magnetical.
Yeah.
When you're running just the DC system, you're getting just the magnetical. And in order to have the balance, you've got to have it. That's why we're using the power inverters you can perpetually charge your battery. Okay, so you'll understand that your battery will constantly be charged all the time, and it'll end up using your starter or other electrical components inside your car to power instead of gas. And then you produce hydrogen, and the hydrogen will burn before the gasoline does, so you'll never burn your gas again. You'll just burn hydrogen.
Well, when I put it in my car, I put it in a trunk.
Can't hear you, Joe.
When I have one in my car, I put it in the trunk, and I ran my power wire to the battery, and the ground wire I ran to the chassis of the car.
That'll work. It's a
And,
complete circuit.
And I put in a small container and I velcroed it in place.
Yeah, you can do that. I don't have a back seat.
You get a pickup truck?
Well, it's a Honda Passport
Okay,
or
yeah.
a Suzuki Rodeo, you know, so I don't really have a place where I can store it without it being damaged. So what I was considering was
How
putting
wide
it
is that?
in my center console.
Well, what you can do is get a piece of PVC with a cap, white pipe, and nano coat the inside with a little caustic. Put it into there and put a cap. You can run the wires right to it,
Yeah,
like a 4-inch or even 4-inch will work for that.
yeah. There's a lot of little options that we can utilize.
Did you ever think about crossing the top, Mike?
Do what?
Were you putting a ring on the top? Do you think about jumping to positive and shorten it out to make it loop? You go put in a dynamic loop?
Well, it already is, because each one of the posts is touching the rings.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying though, to keep it, to have it, you know, like a pulse going fully running all the way around.
Oh, it's already doing that. These right here, these posts,
Yes.
these are extra wires, okay?
Okay.
And because I've bent over,
Yes. All right. I was just thinking a giant figure. I was thinking of a giant infinity loop. That's the only reason why I said that.
yeah, I mean, they're already connected. Like these two are connected here, and these two are connected.
So you already got a giant infinity loop.
Yep, it's this top ring right here is that Infinity. Now the difference here is I don't have each capacitor plugged into each other, and I think that's why.
If you get the lighter wire and wire it to the post, it'll plug them all in, right?
Man, this thing is just fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Could you give me
Badass.
Could you give me the power to record?
Mike,
Now
can
we
I
get
see it, bro?
technical, we had
Can-
clips.
I like better the explanation of it. The making that come back to your site.
Mike, can you show it to me?
I'm showing it to you. It's on the screen.
There we go. Turn it sideways. Wow, man. When did that hit you?
Today.
Today? Good
I
job,
made-
bro.
I made it while I was online.
Those wraps in the center.
Yeah, they started out like this. Okay?
Cool, man.
Just a bunch of wrapped rings.
But
Uh,
it's the infinity loop, right?
Well, yeah,
Kind of.
everything I make is an Infinity, but all I did was I wrapped the end of this wire over the top of something cylindrical about this shape.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've got one end that is you've got excess wire, and that's all I did was wrap it around there. Well, if I was to take these two right here, okay, I would get two rodin coils that are connected to each other. And the center, okay, where that one part where you wrapped it in the center, that becomes your center coil, okay, where all of your energy is created.
Have you? Well, you just did this today, right?
Yeah.
You gonna nano code?
These are already dipped in the charcoal water,
Yeah.
so to me they're
Looks
already
like a little
nano-coated.
atom, man.
Take it for what it is.
Yeah. Nice.
But this is the image that's been going through my damn head.
And then what? You put that in the center
And-
of like a
I couldn't
little
get the image
structure with
out.
3 of those.
But you see, that's all this is just a ring that I've wrapped all the ends off on one side, and then I use that wherever it's wrapped. That's the centerpiece. You see how it unfolds?
Yeah.
Okay. Trust me, all of this shit happens in my mind, and then I've got to visually see it in order to create.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I'm working on a plasma, a field reactor. It's look, I got this right here. It's like a little fishbowl,
I can't.
but you can't see it.
Hold on. This is Zane, right?
Yeah, it's me, brother. How you doing, man?
You doing all right?
Dude, I was thinking about you, and I just punched in your number, and bang, you were there. I was like, awesome. That's really awesome.
I'm here as much as I can. The last couple of days I've been
But
tired.
look, check this
and-
out. Can I show you this?
Yeah,
The screen is not filling, Zen. You there?
yeah, I just can't see your
Okay.
video, man. We're
No.
just waiting.
We're seeing the reactors on fans. Do I have to turn? Oh, well.
your camera on.
Huh?
You gotta turn on your speaker
Oh,
for your
The camera, you gotta turn the camera on.
video.
turn the camera on.
There we go. All right, check this out. I can't flip the screen around. You see this? This has a gravitational magnetical double coil inside of it, turned 90 degrees with a Gans ball that's got CH2, copper oxide, and zinc oxide. Just the Gans water inside of it.
Okay.
And I got 2 fans, and I'm gonna glue this in. I mean this this glass thing, fishbowl, to this fan, and then I'm gonna glue this.
No, yeah,
I'm gonna glue this
the lid
to this fan.
powerful stuff.
Look,
I see what you're doing with that.
and then I'm gonna put this inside here, and I'm gonna spin them, and I'm gonna spin them at about 2,500 RPMs, and it should create a plasma field. But inside the big fishbowl is gonna be the plasma.
I'm looking at your
Gans
fan on the
water.
ceiling. Oh my god.
Oh, sorry.
That would be nice to put the Gans on that, or
Yeah.
try to figure out a way to have the cords coming out and just having the ball turn on the bottom of it in the center.
Yeah, the opposing fans that you've got there, you got to remember that the fans by themselves already have an electromagnetic field from the motor, okay, that's causing it to spin. So when you put the 2 opposing fields in there, you're basically interlocking it with a rodin coil, like what we're making here. And if you were to nano coat the fan.
No, hold on, wait. There's one thing that I'm missing, all right? Hold on, let me go get it. Watch out, cop. Okay, this is where it gets, it might start making sense.
You gotta put your camera back on.
Yeah, we can't see a camera.
Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, I got a nano coated spring right there. And I'm gonna have the liquid Gans water inside this bowl, and then this is gonna go inside this, and they're gonna spin opposite directions
Right.
at 2,500 RPMs, or
Okay.
up to
What is the purpose of this device?
the magnetic gravitational field. It's a field, not
Right, but you're creating an open plasma. Okay. What is the purpose of your open plasma? You're creating this device
well,
for
the purpose of it would be to for the stabilization of the ship.
It's a shelter he's building.
Yes.
so you want
It
this.
would be its protective mechanism, also the lift and descend.
Okay. So you're building a spaceship.
Yeah.
Right?
Aren't you?
This
Aren't you?
I am my spaceship.
Huh?
I am my spaceship.
Yeah. Well, I want to go into space.
Well, you can go into space. You can even use your body to go into space. Okay? You just have to learn how to control your own energy fields, just like you're manipulating these. Okay? You have the very same energy fields that you're trying to create already within your body. Okay?
Do you understand what I'm doing though? With the
I
Gans,
certainly do.
with the liquid plasma, I'm creating a free plasma. You are absolutely right. But it'll give me lift. it should give me takeoff, man.
It
And a perfect shield that will detect for millions of miles.
okay. That's gonna yes, you're gonna get all of that. Okay. And that and some. Okay, more than you probably bargaining for with that. So you got to keep that in mind. Don't there's some things that
Look, I have 3 reactors. I have 3 MAV grabs in.
Well, let's put it this way: there's some things that you're doing that isn't necessary. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's redundant. Okay. You've already covered one field, or you've already covered one thing with this, and you know what I mean. Okay. You'll figure that out. That the redundancy, okay, isn't necessarily needed.
No. Okay. But do you see with the nano coated gravitational and magnetical spring? I mean coil around the outside of the bowl, and then the coil inside the other bowl.
Yeah.
With the Gans ball in the center.
I saw it. Yes. I mean, what is it? What is it that you want from me on that?
No, nothing. I'm
You're just
sorry.
doing it. It's just creating a pressure ring. That's what you're doing.
An infinite field, an infinite gravitational magnetical field.
Right. All energy that we're creating is in the infinite field that you're just saying. Okay. So don't try to overstand it. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Don't. What you're doing is fine. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of say hi to my lady. She's in the back.
Yeah. Hello. How you doing? How you doing back there?
I'm heading back out in a minute. This is what I made, by the way. Oh, it's shiny. Yeah, I caught her attention because she said it's shiny. So, but yeah, just remember that yes, you're repeating things, okay, when you're working with this stuff, okay. So you're going to start out with a smaller coil, right? Just like we did here. You're going to start out with a smaller coil, okay? And then you're going to add 2 more coils to that, to the inside. Well, that just creates 1. Even though you put 3 things together in there, okay, that's still just 1. And then you've got, this one has 3 things in it, and this one also has 3 things in it, okay? But each one of them is 1. And then now all is 1, okay? It becomes a whole unit. And that's what we're doing here, is that we're tying it all together as 1 unit. And you've got so many different reactors going on out there that you might have an adverse reaction, okay? You might have...
like create a black hole?
Well, the black hole is your eyes, okay? You didn't die because you opened your eyes, so don't be worried about a black hole, okay?
Yeah.
You're not going to create anything big enough to suck this planet in that is in relation to a black hole, okay?
Yeah.
So don't worry about that part. Now, what I'm talking about is that everything that you have around you is creating an energy field, okay? And you are very specifically targeting energy fields because you're working with plasma, okay? So you've got several reactors going on all over the place, okay? You need to figure out what each one of those is doing.
That's what this is for. This is the control system for all of the other reactors.
Okay? Your brain is your control system for all the other reactors. You don't have to build anything else to control those other reactors. All you have to do is put them in your brain, okay? Visualize them, and then ask them if they have the open plasmas, okay? You ask them with your mind to feed you, to connect, to work in harmony with the rest of your other devices, Okay? If you're building a physical controller for your spaceship, you're not going to be able to physically control it. Okay? Because your spaceship is controlled by your thoughts and your emotions. Okay? As some people call it, it's opening up the God space in a hydrogen atom. Okay? If you open up and go inside of a hydrogen atom, you'll know that it's 99.9% air. Okay? That's the God space. That's what we're talking about. That's the plasma that we're opening. And when you open that God space up, you're able to connect to source, get all the answers that you desire and you have questions for. Sometimes you like the answers, sometimes you don't. But the brain is literally your controller, okay? So don't try to make a physical one or it won't work. You have to be able to tie it in with your emotions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, all of the things, the fans, the opposing things, those are all perfect. You know, you're doing an outstanding job. Can't wait to see them. You know, see the results from them. So, but I was informed, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm about to have a naked woman in the shower. So with that, I'm out. Peace. I love you guys. I will put this video up. And
Good night. Dylan's in trouble. He ain't getting that.
nah, it doesn't matter. Feel the love. All right.
Oh, yeah.
And, I'll be back on, excuse me, I'll be back on later tonight, I'm sure, because this thing is beautiful and I want it to finish and working. So,
And you'll be energized after the hot shower.
I'll talk to you later.
yeah,
Good night.
I want it to be sustainable because if I'm going to share this with the world, I know you guys are going to tear it apart. I want it to at least look pretty.
Thank you, Mike.
So, you're welcome, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the audience and the learning. Like I said, I'll put this up as soon as I get off of here. It'll start to render. It's been taking me about I don't know, 3 to 4 hours to render one stupid Zoom video now, and I think Anuj might be having it. It's already being recorded straight to YouTube Live. So if somebody can check that out, he said. It's got to be a fast. It's a test stream, but need a fast connection. So,
You know, I learned that when you slow your breathing, you slow your heart rate, and then you can leave your body much easier.
yeah,
Because your heart is what keeps your body in a plasmatic state, and keeps the soul in the seat. Because the heart takes a magnetic field that.
It's a reactor itself.
That's
are you
right.
guys wanting to stay on here and chit chat?
Yeah.
I gave you
Were
guys
you-
some
your battery?
the ability to record if you guys wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Stephen, I'm allowing you to record and Noosh. Allowing to record. I'm going to turn off my stuff. What the hell? There we go. I'll be back and love y'all. Enjoy. If you're going to chit chat, go for it. Have fun.
One love, bro.
Thank
Take
you.
it easy.
Peace. Enjoy the Zoom.
Thank you. So anybody into doing anything or y'all got any projects going on?
Man, I'm trying to make magic myself.
Yeah.
I've been trying to build different stuff. I'm pretty much in the game for a little about 3 months now, not that long.
I just gave Stefan host rights. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'm out.
Thanks, bro. Stefan, you there?
Let me find my.
I was thinking of how we could make our own.
Yes, yes. There's a lot
I
of.
just told you how you can do it.
No, your own graph. Your
Oh,
own
man, you can take a pencil and get a knife and just scrape the pencil lid, and then you'll have real fine graphite powder. Probably take about a good 10 pencils, but you'd have a really good reduced graphene oxide. Here, this is the graphite I use right here. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. That's a big ball. That's cool.
Man, this right here will last a lifetime. That's a lifetime's worth of graphite right there.
Oh yeah, that much. Okay, yeah, you're not using much, right?
It takes very little, man, because you're splitting the graphite sheets into a single layer. So
Yeah.
it's like I think 300,000 sheets per grain of graphite. Y'all see my Gans going?
Nice, big
Yeah.
ball. Put coils in there. You know what you're doing. You're good. You're good to go. Wow, nice.
Nice.
Look, I got me a little setup over here. I've been trying to use the Gans with growing some stuff. I got a cactus and some ivy.
Oh,
There's
you're
some
pretty
monkeys,
advanced,
man.
man. You're pretty advanced. Surprisingly advanced, dude.
I'm just trying, man. I'm trying. I don't know, man. God is really good to us, and man, Mr. Kesh awakened a beast inside me, and it's like all my life. This is everything that I've done in my life has led up to this, working with plasma.
Yes, well, that's what the device do. They align the stars to make a type of a heavenly synchronicity of the most like ideal situation.
Hey, y'all, you want a shot?
Nice. That's big one, yeah.
Electrical systems going?
Huh?
Zan, you got any electrical systems working, going?
Yes, I got here. I'll show you this. I got 3 of them going right now.
I think your video went off. Yeah.
Right here.
Nice.
There's
That's
the
good.
mouse grab. I got all this plugged into it. And then this is the very first mag grab I ever built right there.
Oh, nice.
And then I have another one. I have another one right here.
So what kind of savings are you experiencing?
Well, I keep getting the giggle effect, like I'm being tickled, you know, and I get this unbearable sensation to laugh. You know, it's crazy. And I'm a little while ago I was thinking about how delicious how bad I missed my grandfather's steaks. My parents, well, my grandparents own a real famous steakhouse in Slidell, Louisiana.
Oh, nice.
You know, I was thinking about the steak and I smelled it and I tasted it like with the way that I take a chunk of it and I dip it in my mashed potato with some sauteed onions and mushrooms and put it in the A1 sauce and then, you know, take a bite. I smelled everything. It was just so perfect and tasted it. I was like, wow. And then I laughed.
That's cool.
But,
That's cool.
You never had a memory of taste that strong before?
yeah.
Did
Not until today. None like that's ever happened.
Do you know about like having your third eye open and seeing like clear when you have your eyes closed?
No, but yes.
Yes,
And believe it or not, man, it's really starting to happen to me. It's crazy.
well,
It's really
that's why I'm
crazy.
talking to you about it. And so you're touching on new abilities. Keep in mind that
It's fascinating, man.
that you've always been able to do that in a certain way.
Yeah.
But now it's just so powerful that even memories like become creation type of situation. What your memory or what you wanted to live, well, you're living it in a way, right?
Yes. What you think it will be?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going into space, gang. I am building me a spaceship.
Well,
And I'm building my control system as we speak. Well, after I take this shot. But.
Yeah, I'm going to assist you on that. I'm going to watch you or help you if you want me to help, or just watch anyway. I'm going to be looking at it because you're doing the size of balls that are very interesting. You're going right off the bat with two opposing forces. So